All right, so we've pretty much figured out that the Lakers are relatively stuffed, but I still feel like they shouldn't panic just yet because there are still a lot of moves to make and things like that. So I wouldn't necessarily look into that too much, but I figured, we've kind of talked about a lot of teams now. There'll be one more that I kind of want to talk about before we move on to some Cavs content, because we know damn well that's what everyone's waiting for, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, let's just say the New York Knicks, right? Because we know they're getting Donovan Mitchell. It's a matter of when. I'd like to talk about the Knicks and Donovan Mitchell as well as the Utah Jazz buyout market. But we know they're getting Donovan Mitchell. It's a matter of when. Let's say it does happen. They lose Fournier, McBride, someone else, whoever it may be, 4 future first-round picks, right? 5 or 6 maybe. Are the Knicks a top 4 team in the East if they make this happen?
No.
Because they would have Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. That's a really good starting 5. Then you got good bench players, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickly, Isaiah Hartenstein, Obi Toppin. Is that not a top 5 team, top 4 team?
No.
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 I got a Knicks fan who disagree. He reckons they're the 3rd best team in the East if this happens.
In the East?
Yeah. So who would be better than that Knicks team? So we'll look at it. The Celtics. The Bucks would be better. Right? I'm not going to say the Heat because I don't think the Heat have improved enough to scare anyone in the NBA right now. So I'll say the Bucks, the Celtics, the Nets if they keep it all together, and the 76ers. But then I've got the Knicks over the Bulls, the Cavaliers, and the Raptors if they're able to get all that stuff done, right? Because, I don't know, that's a good team.
No. The reason why I don't agree, let's start with Miami. Because technically, if we go off that, we technically thought the same thing last season. People said they wasn't scary, they was a fluke, all that stuff. And truth be told, we realized that team defense has overwhelmed a lot of these teams, and I think Knicks would be overwhelmed because their offense is not that Don, but how much faith do you have in RJ Barrett and Julius Randle? I like RJ Barrett, but how much faith do you truly have in those? And I mean, also Jalen Brunson, but let's be real here. If you put Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell on the floor at the same time with a team like Miami, who is a team defensive team, we seen what they did to Atlanta, who tried something like that. So if New York put that on the floor in a season or in a playoff, that's not going to happen. So I do think Miami's going to have a higher seed than them. Boston's going to have a higher seed than them. Milwaukee's going to have a higher seed than them. Philadelphia is going to have a higher seed than them. And it depends if Chicago stays healthy. If Chicago's not healthy, I can see that kind of swapping in and out. But those 4 or 5 teams I just named is going to be higher than the Knicks, confidently, in the East.
You think the Heat? I feel like the Heat, because I was very big on them last season, but I'm not that big on them this season. I don't know if they really got a whole lot better. You know what I mean?
They didn't get a lot better, but the Knicks is not that overwhelming with Don for me to confidently say. Because, theoretically, the Knicks got better, but did they get that much better than Miami? And I don't think so. Even though Miami didn't make any moves, actually. They just lost PJ Tucker. But their team is still a really great defensive team without him. Like, honestly, on paper, I guess the Knicks would be good, but in a game, in a longevity standpoint, I still got Miami.
Yeah.
Because Miami's going to play a lot more games than the talent out there in New York, especially if you're talking about Derrick Rose and and Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. You know, those, like, if that's your, especially Mitchell Robinson, like, you know, I don't truly think, I know. In a regular season, yeah, the Knicks is not going to play better than Miami.
My worry with the Knicks would be the defense. Oh, well, not the defense, the coaching.
With no true star players, they still was 52-29.
Oh, sorry. I completely lagged.
Oh, no, said it. That's why I was like, huh? I was like, what just happened?
Oh, my internet connection is like, apparently it's unstable. That's what I'm being told. Yeah, no, I just like, I'm speaking. I'm like, you just start speaking. I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah. I didn't even hear it. I'm like, what was that?
No. I mean, what I was trying to say is, I think the coaching for New York is really questionable for me. I don't know what's going on there because I feel like Tom Thibodeau just loves his defense so much. And what the Knicks have done is they've brought in a lot of offensive guys. If you bring in Donovan Mitchell, you move RJ to the 3, who is a 6'7" small forward, who, don't get me wrong, that's an appropriate height. But under Tom Thibodeau, I don't know if he's going to like RJ Barrett at that small forward. It didn't really work this past season when him and Fournier started together. I don't know if Tom Thibodeau is the right guy to have coaching this offense. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't... I do feel like... I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest with myself, if we're being real, Miami, I'm not sure if they have a better team on paper than what New York does, but they're better coached. They've got a better system. They got more veteran players. They probably should be a higher seed. But New York could have a better team on paper. They've got a very incredible 10-man rotation where you have some insane offensive guys. You've got, again, the second option that Dallas just had when they made it to... Did Dallas make the conference finals? They did, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, so you've got Dallas's second option now, their point guard and shot creator. You have Donovan Mitchell, the first option, if they get Donovan Mitchell, but I think we all know they are, the first option of the Utah Jazz, their best player, the face of their franchise. Then you still got RJ Barrett, your number one guy, the supposed face of your franchise, and then Julius Randle, who was literally an all-star a season ago. The offense is incredible. The spacing is there, the playmaking is there, the shot creation is there, catch and shooting. But the defense and coaching it scares me a bit.
And it's gonna get worse. Like, it's gonna get worse. Like, if you get Don, like, and you have Don Jalen Brunson at the 1 and 2, right? Because you paid Jalen Brunson as a starter.
Yeah.
And that was the expectation. He's gonna be a starter. And if you get Don, he's a starter, right? You got 2 6'1" guards at your 1 and 2. Then let's say, you said RJ Barrett, you got Drew Randle at your 4, and your best defender would probably be Mitchell Robinson.
Pretty decent. Well, I mean, now RJ Barrett's still a really good defender at that 2. At the 2, he's a very capable defender.
Oh, but you got him at the small forward.
But you got him at the small forward. Julius Randle he's an underrated defender, I think. People just trash on him so much, but I feel like his defense isn't that bad. He's just like a big dude, you know? But then you still got Mitch Robb, who gets into foul trouble, but I don't know. I feel like if you added some defenders off that bench, it would be a very incredible team. Like, if you brought a Pat Bev off that bench, watch out. You know what I mean?
What you giving up to get Pat Bev?
If I was the Knicks, I would go a protected first. You know, if I was to get asked to bring in a Pat Bev, or I would have gone after a Royce O'Neal, to be honest, but Royce O'Neal just got sent to Brooklyn for some reason. I don't know what's going on there, but I would have gone after a Royce O'Neal if I was negotiating a Donovan Mitchell trade. If I had to throw in an extra first-round pick for Royce O'Neal, I would have. And that's what he ended up being worth on Brooklyn anyway. But yeah, I like the Knicks. I like what's going on. Through the wastelands, through the